Do you
I
want
think
to go ahead?
I think to segue into the next thing, you saw a lot of probably visceral reactions online, especially after quarterfinals when the first
Oh yeah,
recap posted and Boston's in fourth. In listening to I listened to all those prelims tapes. I think I agree. I don't disagree with anything that he did, and people just like had this visceral reaction because I mean we were gassing Boston up, and he's like fourth, like that's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. These people don't know what they're doing. It's like no, they do know what they're doing, uh, and they're just trying to do the absolute best job that they can for the members. It's not like they're making crazy money judging, so they're just trying to do their job for the cores and the members. But they have an incredibly tough job to do, and I don't disagree with any of the placements that ended up averaging out. I feel like they nailed it. But having said that, I do hate the system the way it's set up because it really handicaps and handcuffs the judges when you can't get to the sideline. And I'm not saying that I don't agree with the scores or the placements, just throwing that out there. But it does make me wonder the validity or like how much I can trust just the entire package because those drum lines are really probably getting sampled 25 to maybe 30% of the show, probably less.
I would say less.
I would say 25% on the high side for
Yeah,
what they can really like hear, what the judges can really hear. Like there's unobstructed access to the drum line where there's no horn lines in between. Because if the trumpets or mellows or baritones are in between you and the drum line, forget about it. You're not going to read the clarity. You're just not. And if the battery is further back than the front hash, you're just really not going to read the clarity. You can read the intent or you can read what they're doing, but the achievement of it is just not accessible. So that I think that that's really a detriment to what is happening. And the front ensemble reads are fantastic. It's
oh yeah.
great. They deserve every bit of it. I feel like front ensemble is severely carrying a lot of the achievement that's going on as
Just
far
as
as the scores are related.
That's just going to be how it is. I mean, I would say honestly, like in an ideal world, like obviously front to back connection between the front and the battery is an integral part of a solid percussion section. About the execution, all that stuff. You would want the drum score to be like split evenly in terms of crediting front, battery. Like 50% of your score would be front, 50% of the score would be battery. Obviously, a little bit of nuance for the front to back connection and intricacies of the interplay between the two and the writing and all that stuff and execution. But
And it makes
I
total
would
sense to
say,
like split the and do too, like somebody who's more battery focused and somebody who's more front focused, because then you still get the full ensemble package from the music analysis judge. Because there's two. They had
yep,
four GE judges. One of them were usually like kind of geared towards each section, like a GE guy that's kind of a percussive, guard, visual, music focus. And then the music analysis guys, I think there was one on every night that was like a percussion guy, like a Glenn Fugit or a Chris Heston or a Caleb Rothy. Those are all percussion people in the music box reading the whole ensemble with a pretty percussive heavy background that can read the full percussion ensemble. So I don't understand why we can't have two percussion judges on the fields. I don't think it's a safety issue. Yeah, maybe be like, we're not trying to run in between the guard moments. Let's not do that, obviously. I don't think it's a distraction from the visual package. I've never once thought that watching a
no,
show.
I've
Even when you
never.
go back as far as like the 80s when I'm watching those scout shows that I love, those 93 shows, those 96 shows, I've never been like, man, the drum judge is really bringing down the vibe of the show. Never once thought that.
Nope, not one time. And I would throw out there as just a blanket statement that as it stands with the system not allowing the judges on the field, your drum score is probably 75, maybe 80% front ensemble. How good your front is right now. And can your battery nail 1.5 to 2 minutes of music when the judge could actually be in front of them when the designers brought them to the front of the field?
And the rest of the time, it really just feels like they're crediting design,
Yep.
not achievement,
Yep.
which I think is sucks. I think we should be rewarding the members on what they're doing, not. I mean, design is already built into every single caption. With your content, your repertoire, what you're asking them to do, you have that left side of the box that's already built in for the designers in every caption. But that achievement box, especially for the drumline, I feel like is just kind of going by the wayside to where these designers, and I don't know, I don't sit and critique, but they're going in and they're just arguing about what they're doing, not how they're doing it.
Yeah. And to illustrate this point of...
And that's the more subjective part when you start arguing what. It's like, clean is clean. Clean lives forever.
Yeah. Anyone can stand in front of a drum line with the right training and be like, yep, good for you. That was perfect.
And then if you're arguing what we're doing versus what somebody else is doing, that's way more subjective. And
oh, yeah.
You can say it's better, but I disagree.
Oh, yeah. But so to continue on this in this vein, I watched semis, as I've said a few times on this podcast, semis high cam view of, I think, the last 8 groups from Cavaliers onward. And I did a little experiment. I watched the high cam for a reason, and I basically glued my eyes to Mike Leitsky. So I wanted to, and I had a stopwatch pulled up on my phone, and I recorded this, and I basically wanted to record the amount of time that I felt watching where he was in relation to the drum line, he could actually effectively read clarity up close and personal and really credit a member or discredit for ticks or whatever, however they do it. It's a build-up system in WGI. I'm assuming it might be the same in DCI. They don't take points away. But the numbers were not promising. So, and I was even generous for some of this, where I was like, okay, they're on the front hash. There's no wins in between him, and he's behind the pit. It's probably readable from there. And to his credit, there were many, before I go over these times and lay them out there were many times where he still stayed behind the front to try. So Leitsky was trying to read them more, but looking at the field, oh, you have 10 trumpets blaring in your face in front of you. You're not reading what the battery's doing, or not at an effective level to effectively split hairs between these top groups in terms of achievement. So
there was, I did a screen capture before you say that of Jeff Brooks. It was prelims day.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I saw him. It was during BD show. There was an opening where they were just kind of over on side 2 in a diagonal, and he goes to run out there to like get to sample him, and then he stops and he looks around and he's like, "Oh, I'm way more than 6 feet off the sideline," because that's the rule. You're not supposed to go 6 feet. So and he just stopped himself, and I was like, dang, you could tell he just wanted to get out there. And
there were a bunch of times Leitsky's standing on the sideline, not in front of the pit, but either behind the pit or off to the side, like trying to read the battery. But it's like, bro, they're almost on the back hash. Like you're not going to catch the little achievement, right. The little achievement. So
give us the
number.
Give us the numbers there.
Here we go. Cavies, 2 minutes and 50 seconds of their entire program. I felt like he could legitimately read what the battery was doing. Blue Stars, 1 minute and 28 seconds.
Oof, rough staging for the battery.
Cadets, 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Vanguard, 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Crown had the highest number, 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Bluecoats, 1 minute 59. Boston, 2:15. And Blue Devils, 1 minute 53. And most of those moments chalked up to when the designers brought them to the front of the field and put them right in front of him, basically.
And obviously, that's not a perfect system. So it's not scientific. We're not. But it's interesting.
Even if you add 30 seconds to every time, it's still bad.
Yeah, and when I listened to BD's tape from one of the judges, I actually thought that there was less time that he could sample the battery. It was like close to like 1 minute 30.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm sure his ears can pick up better than the recording, but those recordings are pretty legit with the quality. But still, like, you just can't hear the battery ever. In the front, absolutely deserves their flowers. They deserve all the love they get. I'm just saying that we probably tilted the scale from more battery heavy reads to like now it's battery non-existent reads, to where we solved one problem by creating another.
Yep.
Instead of just solving both problems.
From a drumline standpoint, the designers have to do a good job designing, writing the right stuff to get the credit, and the members have to be perfect for a minute and a half.
And I've heard that it's, I believe, a rules committee or rules Congress year where they can propose rules and vote new things. And the cores are the ones that create the system. The judges don't create it. DCI doesn't create it. The cores, I don't know who it is, if it's the core director or whoever, but they get in a room and they hash out like, hey, we want to propose this rule change, and then they vote on it to change it. I'm just hoping that they at least adjust it, like give them a little bit more freedom to where these judges aren't handcuffed to the sideline. It's like, yeah, we don't really want you out the whole time on the field, but if there's a moment where BD's over here and you can get out there and not get in the way, like just get out there and sample it and then get back. You don't have to like maybe follow them all the way around the field. Maybe that's at least a little bit of a change that they can do without going full tilt. But I do wish that it would just go back to somebody who can actually get out there and sample more of it.
Or you have freaking 2 judges at all the regionals and finals nights. It's like 9 shows, isn't it? You counted it? It'd be like 9 extra judges, 8 extra, 7? Okay.
And, well, the Southeast Regional isn't really a true regional. If they did that, it would be 7.
Just do 7. Do the damn Southeast Regional.
So, not all the cores go to Southeast, but they kind of split it in 2 nights this year with Southeast and Winston. But even if you count that, it's 8 judges. You got San Antonio, then you have Southeast, let's say 2 nights. And then you have Allentown for 2 nights, so that's 5. And then you got prelims, semis, finals. That's 8 judges.
Yeah, like have a person that is a battery judge and someone that is a front judge that literally is in front of the front the whole time, and have a battery guy that can run around and follow him around as much as he can safely. Yeah. And then you just have each score added together divided by 2. They still assign a score out of 20 with the content and achievement boxes. That's add them together and divide it by 2.
That's like what 2015 was. You had 6 judges for all 3 nights, and their average, it takes the weight of one person away.
And you actually get, and I'm not saying that the guys and girls they have judging don't have the knowledge to judge both pit and battery. They do.
They're just being torn between
They're not allowed to. So why not let someone that is a primarily front ensemble expert evaluate the front, let a battery expert evaluate the battery, average the 2 scores out of 20, there's your drum score. It wouldn't cost DCI that much more money. The designers can get over themselves about judges being on the field.
Yeah. If anything, it probably is more safe. They're picking up debris.
And if you have a battery-focused judge from a safety standpoint, they don't have to worry about like running back through the field to get back to the front to sample that and run back through the horn line or guard moments. They can kind of say, hey, the battery's integrating here with the core. Let me run out to the side so I don't have to run through stuff to try to get back to the front. So it's just mind-blowing to me. But after all that being said, kind of the whole judging discussion thing, despite me timing, give or take 30 seconds, probably more, give 30 seconds, 2 minutes of Blue Coat drumline evaluation, there is a semifinals run. I still stand by, I think Blue Coat should have won because they actually did play well on the field, even when it wasn't readable. Because go watch, it's on YouTube. They have a semifinals day full run through on the field where like
Robert
a tech.
That?
I think it's Robert Rbase 311 Robert Martinez. I think it's his video where I think one of the techs has his phone or something.
Yeah,
they do a video like that every year.
Run.
It was a great run, and I was like, wow, they're the real deal on the field. It's not like they're just cleaning 2 minutes and then letting everything else be how it is.
And they moved a lot.
And I said the same thing. Their drill was freaking hard. They were running around.
They moved more than some other teams.
A lot more. And they were actually playing some stuff while they're running around. So kudos to them. I think they fully deserved it, despite potentially not being able to be evaluated the right way from a drumline standpoint due to the system. But yeah, that's all I got. We've been ranting.
I guess
could go forever.
To wrap up, it was really cool just overall seeing some groups make finals again. Troopers, Colts, shout out to them getting back into finals, the top 12. And it was just a great year to have DCI back and compete. I mean, we're jawing and stuff and ranting and raving, but it was just awesome to see the competition and really give it up for the kids in the ensembles that were out there sweating it and busting their butt. And yeah, I think this was DCI needed the year to continue to to go. I mean, there's definitely things that need to be fixed, but this was an important year.
So we've not been going super long. Before we close this, do you want to take 2 minutes and go over that little spreadsheet thing you sent me about how groups have changed overall core finishes from 19 to 22? Just take a minute and go over that. I think it's interesting.
I saw a guy post this on one of the Facebook groups, Trent Johnson, whoever that is, just a Facebook group I'm in. But he was talking about groups that from 2019 to 2022 who had the biggest placement change. At the top end of that was Troopers and Music City, who both bumped up 6 spots. Colts finished 5 spots higher, up from 16 to 11th in 2022. Austin jumped 4. Phantom jumped 4. Cadets were up 3. Blue Stars were up 1 from 8th to 7th. And then Mandarins, BD, Blue Coats, and Crown all had no change. They kept their 10-10, 1-1, 2-2, 4-4. Moving down 1 spot, Academy, Genesis, Jersey Surf. Down 2 spots were both Crossman and Vanguard. Crossman fell out of finals this year. And then dropping 4 was the Cavaliers. Dropping 5 was Pacific Crest, and then dropping from 7th to 14th was Blue Knights. And then I also think Scouts were too, even though they're not on his list. They went up from 17th to 15th. So
nice.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's cool to track stuff like that.
Yeah. Shout out Trent Johnson.
Yeah. So we will post the results, like the little Google Sheet picture on the Instagram of like overall placements, actual Evan's predictions there, the prediction list basically, so you all can see on paper, so to speak, how close or how right or wrong we were. But I had a blast this season. I think the excitement for the activity was up through the roof after the weird year last year and the off year before that, and I'm super excited to see how good people are next season, despite the stuff we complained about with the judging. And I think a lot of groups were great. I do think it was odd to reiterate that there wasn't really someone that was like a step above and like, man, they just don't tick. Like all those top 6 drum lines were 90 to 95 out of 100, like 88 to 95, something like that. They're all so close, so good. Kudos to all the members and staff for a great summer. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Looking forward to more. And yeah, from 1st to 7th, 0.78 apart.
Yep.
On the average.
Think about that.
So,
that's cool. That's how tough of a job the judges had this year to split hairs like that. So,
sweet.
All right, let's wrap this up. Again, to reiterate, Facebook, Instagram, head over to Patreon if you want to give anything financially each month. As little as $1 is allowed, and we appreciate it. Probably going to be looking into some equipment over the next few months for our recording setups. But Facebook, Instagram, Aged Out Podcast, LoneStarPercussion.com. Use the discount code. Save yourself $10 in any order $50 or more. The discount code is Aged Out, by the way, if you don't know. And we will see everybody in the next reaction video, podcast, whatever it is.
Peace.